Okay, polymer X is an addition polymer. The monomer used is but1-ene. And I'll go into a lot of detail for this question because conceptual clarity is very important to be able to solve this question, in my opinion. Okay, but1-ene. So if it's but1-ene, that means the double bond is between the first and the second carbon, right? That's what but1-ene is. Now, you also need to understand that whenever you make an addition polymer, the two carbons that contain the double bond, everything else goes up and down. You know, everything else is bonded to these two carbons because they are effectively the carbons that are going to come in the straight chain. You can't make a polymer out of this. You have to make sure that the two carbons which has the double bond, also all the other things that are bonded to it should just go up and down. So that if this carbon has this structure bonded to it, you just bond it on top or at the bottom of this carbon, right? So I'll rearrange it in order to make the polymer. I'll rearrange it. I'll write it like this, you know, CH2, CH3, because effectively this carbon has two hydrogens bonded to it, and this carbon has made one bond, has three other hydrogens bonded to it, right? So if I were to make a polymer, it would look something like this. This would have been the monomer for it. This would have been the monomer for it. And if I were to convert this into a polymer, I just break the double bond, and then obviously I'm going to make the connectivity bonds and complete my hydrogens, right? This would have been the monomer. Done, sir. So that's and then I'll plug in N just represents the number of repeat units. That's the polymer for but1-ene. It's poly-but1-ene. Done, sir. Now I think polymer Y is a condensation polymer. The monomers used are this and this. Now you realize that this COOH is here and this is COOH, which means what? This is a dicarboxylic acid. This CH2 is effectively the box that you make, you know, the box. So he's basically opened that box for you just to confuse you. It's basically dicarboxylic acid. And what is this? This is one OH is here and the other OH is here. And this is the box that he has opened for you. So it's basically if you erase this, it's basically what? A diol. So Y is made up of two monomers, dicarboxylic acid and diol. So therefore it is a polyester. Why is it a polyester? Because between the carboxylic acid functional group and the alcohol functional group, the ester linkage forms. That's how you also make esters. That's why it's called a polyester, because there are many ester linkages, right? And I can also show it to you. So first of all, you could eliminate a couple of options, right? So he's saying the repeat unit for X is, which statement about X and Y are correct? If you look at Y, is Y a polyamide or is Y a polyester? It's not a polyamide. So I'm going to cut A and I'm going to cut C out. So A and C are out of the league, out of the room, out of the board. And then between B and D, we know Y is a polyester, but what's the repeat unit for X? The repeat unit for X is not CH bonded to CH3 bonded to, you know, because these brackets represent the branches, right? So if I open this up for you, it's D, but if I open this, you see, it's C2H5. CH2CH3 is effectively C2H5, right? But if I open these branches for you, it's basically a carbon bonded to a hydrogen, and this bracket CH3 means that it's on top or at the bottom of this carbon. So let's just make it, it's on top or at the bottom of this carbon. I just want to show it to you. And then it's bonded to, this carbon is bonded to a CH, and because there's a bracket CH3, which means this CH3 is at the bottom or at the top of this carbon. So I'll place it right here. Now if I want to make the monomer out of this, instead of making the connectivity bonds, I'll just make a double bond right here. And let's now name it. This is meth, eth, pro, but. So this is butene. But let's also insert the position of the functional group. This is carbon 1, 2, 3, 4. So the functional group is between the second and the third carbon. Therefore, we're going to insert the smaller number, which is but2-ene. So this polymer right here was poly-but2-ene, not but1-ene. And this, in fact, is poly-but1-ene. And I've even shown it to you here. So that's the answer. D is the answer. Therefore, B is wrong because B is not the repeat unit. The repeat unit should look like this, like I've shown here. CH2, CH3 effectively is C2H5. You could have also written it like this. Okay, bye.